My name is Cadence. I work the closing shift at a small dive bar in the quieter part of town. The place sits just off the highway, with a back entrance that leads into the local streets. It's nothing fancy, just a dimly lit spot where the regulars know each other by name, and the jukebox hums the same classic rock songs every night. Most of our customers are locals, truckers, or the occasional lost traveller. I like the quiet routine. The tips are decent, and I've learned to read all kinds of people. The flirters, the loners, the ones running from something. It was after 1 in the morning when he walked in. Late 40s, clean cut, dressed too well for this part of town. Black turtleneck, long coat, confident posture. He ordered a top-shelf drink without hesitation. His voice was calm, polite, but carried something cold underneath. We made small talk. He asked if I liked working there, then if I'd ever thought about doing something bigger. I laughed it off, saying I was happy where I was. His smile faded slightly, and then he asked what time I got off work. The question hit differently. I gave a vague answer, keeping my tone friendly but guarded. He smiled again, dropped a crisp $100 bill on the counter, and left. A week later, he returned, with a woman. She was in her 30s, dressed too young, her smile just a little too bright. She leaned on the bar and called me pretty, her hand brushing my arm like we were friends. The man said nothing. She started asking questions, where I lived, how long I'd worked there, then told me she ran an exclusive event club. She said I'd make 10 grand a weekend if I joined. I laughed, trying to play it off, but her eyes didn't move from mine. Then she said, "You should step outside. Someone can explain it better." My heart started racing. I told her I was fine where I was. Just then, a group of drunk customers walked in, breaking the tension. Her smile dropped, and she and the man left without another word. That night, a car sat idling across the street after closing. When I drove home, it followed every turn until I pulled into a police station. It sped away. A few days later, the woman came back alone, all smiles. I texted my boss under the counter while pretending to make her drink. The moment I turned away, I heard the door shut. She was gone. Then came the sound of rattling from the back door. Someone was trying to break in. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone. Just then, headlights filled the lot. It was my boss. The noise stopped, and a black van tore off into the night. When the police reviewed the cameras, they found 3 masked figures, 2 at the front, 1 at the back, moving in sync. The van's license plate was unregistered. No arrests. I still work there. But I never close alone anymore. And every night, I wonder what would have happened if I'd stepped outside that night. I used to work the night shift at a gas station just off a long stretch of rural highway, the kind of place that barely saw traffic after midnight. Most nights were quiet. Just me, the hum of the fridge coolers, and the buzzing of a flickering fluorescent light that no one ever fixed. The silence could get heavy, the kind that makes you aware of every sound your body makes. It started small. A car would pull in around 2 a.m., engine running, lights off. No one would get out. I'd watch through the window, waiting, but nothing would happen. Then just as suddenly it would drive away. One night, I saw a man sitting inside the car, still as stone, eyes straight ahead, hands on the wheel. The next night, it came back. Same car, same man, same silence. Then came the knocking. It was soft at first from the glass door, just a slow, steady tap. When I looked up, no one was there. A few minutes later, it came again, but louder from the side window this time. I grabbed the bat we kept under the counter and stepped outside to check. The air was cold, the parking lot empty, but I heard it then. A faint whisper coming from the other side of the pumps. I didn't wait to find out. I ran back inside, locked every door, and sat behind the counter, staring at the cameras. At 3:17 a.m., motion sensors lit up the back lot. I checked the feed and froze. A figure stood there, half in the dark, facing the rear door. They weren't moving, just waiting. I called the police. When they arrived 20 minutes later, the lot was empty. But the officer's face changed when he looked at the camera footage. The figure wasn't alone. There were 3 more, standing just outside the reach of the lights, like shadows that had learned how to breathe. After that, I quit. The owner said the cameras glitched, that maybe it was a prank. But I'll never forget what I saw in that grainy footage. The way those shapes didn't move like people. They moved like they were waiting for me to come outside. It was around 2:30 in the morning when I started the long drive home from visiting my sister. The highway stretched out endlessly, the night pressing in like a curtain. My headlights cut through the fog, but the world beyond them felt hollow, like I was the last person left awake. Then I saw it. A car pulled over on the shoulder, hazard lights blinking faintly. Someone was standing beside it, waving slowly. I slowed down, rolling to a cautious stop a few yards ahead. It was a woman, pale, shaking, wearing a torn jacket. "Thank God," she said when I lowered my window. "Can you help me? My car won't start." Her voice trembled, but there was something off about it. Too calm, like she'd practiced it. I offered to call a tow truck, but she shook her head quickly. "No," she said. "He doesn't like waiting." Before I could ask who he was, a faint thud echoed from inside her car. Something moving in the back seat. My instincts screamed at me to leave. I told her I'd go get help and started rolling up the window. Her smile vanished instantly. She stepped closer, pressing her palm against the glass. "Please," she whispered, "don't leave me here." That's when I saw it. Someone sitting upright in the back of her car. A man, grinning wide, eyes locked on mine. I floored the gas pedal and didn't stop until I saw the next gas station lights in the distance. I told the clerk what happened and he called the cops. When they went to check, the car was gone. The officer told me later that no one had reported a broken down car that night. But 2 weeks later, I saw something on the news. A couple found dead on that same stretch of highway. Their car still running, hazard lights blinking. Now, whenever I drive that road at night, I can't help but look at the shoulder. And sometimes, in the corner of my eye, I swear I still see her standing there, waving me down.